Okay, today we are making Coctel de Camarón or shrimp cocktail. For the ingredients, I used 2 pounds of cooked and peeled shrimp and 1 red onion. Everything after that is a tu gusto, to your liking. It just depends on if you like a lot of tomato or you don't like tomato or you like a lot of lemons. So I used about 5 tomatoes actually. I used 3 lemons, 2 cucumbers, cilantro. I used 3 chiles serranos. And then for the clamato, the ketchup, the dark soy sauce, the light soy sauce, the tapatio, the jugo Maggi, and the Worcestershire sauce, I used about 3/4 of a big old 64-ounce clamato, and I used about a tablespoon or 2 of all of the other spices. So here I have the cooked and peeled shrimp. I just get the big old 2-pound bag of frozen shrimp at Costco. This is about enough shrimp for my family, and it lasts us, I don't know, maybe a meal or two, depends on how hungry we are. But all you have to do to prep it is defrost it, rinse it, leave it straining in a colander. It is that easy. It's small enough that you could leave it whole. Later on, I will show you what I do for my families. So this is the cilantro. Those are the tomatoes that I used. The onion, I have 3 cucumbers in the bag, but I only used 2. I have about 5 chiles there, but I only used 3. My lemons, clamato. So I like the picante one. I think that's important, but you could use the regular. I have used the regular one in the past. Tapatio, super important. Ketchup, any ketchup is fine, honestly. And then these are my little secret weapons. Some of you may use them, some of you don't. Some of these, it's the first time you hear about them. So you've got jugo Maggi. I think it just says like Maggi seasoning if you buy it in a white people store. Premium dark soy sauce, light soy sauce, and then I also use Worcestershire sauce. So these are some cool gadgets I love to use when it comes to cooking, and then especially making my ceviche. My friend here, the Vidalia Chop Wizard, I got it for $20 at a Bed Bath & Beyond, and I've had it for like 4 years. Best $20 I have ever spent in my entire life. I love using it. It cuts down on your prep so much. So it comes with these 2 inserts. One of them is like a big grid, about a 1/4 of an inch or so, and then it has that tiny grid for smaller chopping, and then a little brush that you can use to rake through the thing that goes through the grids to push your food through to make sure that you're getting every last bit of your food. Another cool thing that I love, I had to slow it down because I was moving too fast, is this cutting board. I got it at Costco for like $15, and it comes with these 5 inserts for veggies, seafood, pork, like pork and beef, and then like poultry, and then it even has the white one is like just for bread and cheese, so unflavored things. So here I prepped it, and then I was like, oops, I have to still prep my fish, so I had to take it off, and then I'll show you what I do next. Okay, let's see. Some of these are sped up. I had to slow them down. I'm sorry. In the future, I will record at regular speed instead of using time lapse. So here I'm using kitchen scissors to cut the shrimp into thirds. Like I said, this is how my family eats it because we like to have a little bite of everything in every spoonful. So you get a little chunk of shrimp, a little chunk of pepino, a little chunk of tomato, but some people prefer to eat the whole shrimp, and that is totally okay. This part is 100% up to your discretion. You can totally skip it. Just rinse your shrimp. You're ready to go. So, important, always roll your limes. I ended up using 3. Cut them in half, sharpen your knife, and then I am using this lemon juicer that we got for like $4 at Winco. Best juicer, like best handheld non-electric juicer we've had. So I had to remove some stuff because it was in the way, taking up space. But anyway, I always leave my juice to the side so that the pulp can continue to drip. Here all I'm doing is removing the butt off my tomato and slicing and moving to the side. And then I am going to cut my onion in half, peel off that outer layer, and then slice. I'll wipe down the tomato juices. Okay, so the slices are, again, up to you. They look pretty thin to me, but not like paper thin. Okay, so then I'm putting in my small grid and I am just slapping this onion until it chops. And let me tell you, if you've got anger issues, this thing is fantastic. I love it. It's great. It's the only time I can get my brother to help me in the kitchen. I'll be like, hey, you want to come slap the tomato or whatever? So here I have a big bowl where I am adding the shrimp and the onion. Okay, I will show you what I do after this. Okay, so this is where I add my lemon juice. I added about 3/4 of the juice that I got from the lemons. Worcestershire sauce, about 2 tablespoons, but again, it's to your liking. You have to be really familiar with the flavors to know how much of it you like. So I say start off slow, and once you're tasting it, you can always add a little bit more. So I've so far added the Worcestershire sauce, the jugo Maggi, the soy sauce. The dark soy sauce, be very careful because it is a very strong, salty seasoning. You add a fraction of that you do the rest of them. So everything else was 1 to 2 tablespoons. The dark soy sauce was maybe half a tablespoon. And the tapatio, I don't know, I gave it about 15 slaps on the bottom. You mix it all together, and I feel like this step is really, really important because it ensures that, one, the lemon and all those flavors cut down on the strongness of the onion, and then it also helps your shrimp start to get flavor before you've even started like really putting it together. Like let that shrimp get all those seasonings, that flavor. So here I'm using the bigger grid, and I am chopping up my tomato that was already sliced up. There was a little bit where I kind of like showcased to you the onion. I like to put on the end pieces where there's skin side up. You can try it skin side down, but I have found that it goes through the grid easier if the skin side is up because it gets pushed in last. Okay, so here I am peeling my cucumber, nipping off the edges, just the ends, and then usually I cut it into third. This time I don't know what I was thinking. I cut it in half and then went, oh shit, had to make it fourths. So I cut it in thirds, and then I cut it in thirds lengthwise, so it's these little like rectangle pieces, and I just pop them in the slap chop. And then I comb through to make sure I get any last bit. What you didn't see right now was me throwing it into the big bowl that has the shrimp. It now has the tomato, and it has the onion, shrimp, and seasoning. Okay. So up next, I am preparing my chile serranos. So roll them in your hand, or don't. It's up to you. My mom calls it toreándolos. Basically just releasing the oils inside to make the chile spicier, according to some people. I cut it in half, and then I cut each half into strips, and then I stack them up and I slice them. Some people remove the seeds. We personally do not, because what's the point? Then it's not spicy. A lot of people are like, oh, I remove the seeds because it makes it less spicy. It's like, then why add chile? Just add less then. But whatever, we use 3 because they haven't been that spicy. So I had to use 3. Spoiler, they came back to bite me in the ass, but whatever. So here I have the cilantro. All I do is I grab it from where about the leaves start to thin out, and I twist off the top, and you kind of fold it in on itself, and then you just run your knife along it, and it chops it real simple. So here I am mixing everything just to make sure all the ingredients are nice and mixed in. I'm going to bring over my cilantro and add all of it, and then add a portion of the serranos. And then this little awkward moment off camera was when I realized that for my liking it didn't have enough tomato, so I'm chopping one off camera as I forgot to fix the angle on my camera, but oh well. So here I am adding the tomato, mixing it all up, and then this is where I add my ketchup, just a light drizzle just to cover the top layer. You don't want to add too much because, again, ketchup is sweet, so it will totally undo all your work and give you a weird, sweet, fishy flavor that I'm not fond of. Some people like ketchup. And here I'm just mixing the clamato in until it gets the right consistency where it's like not too dry but also not too soupy, because you know that caldo gets left for the end. Okay, now it is michelada time. Okay, so don't judge me. This is a 6-cup mason jar. It's also just because I just happened to buy a 24-ounce beer at the store and I didn't have anything big enough. But anyway, I still use the Worcestershire sauce, I use the jugo Maggi, I use soy sauce, and I use tapatio in my micheladas. This is 100% personal preference. I'm just showing you what I personally like in my micheladas. This does not go for everyone, okay? Some people like them real basic. My nephew, beer and tapatio, and that for him is a michelada. My dad doesn't do micheladas at all because he doesn't like clamato. So this is all 100% my personal preference. I tend to like very savory, tart, spicy micheladas. So here I am adding the rest of my lemon juice from my Coctel de Camarón. I am adding a splash of the same picante clamato because you already have it. Why waste it? And by splash, I mean a good cup and a half. But again, this is a really big bottle. A couple dashes of Worcestershire sauce. I've got some soy sauce, just a little, just to give it that salty, savory flavor. And then a couple squashes of jugo Maggi and tapatio. Oh my God, look at all that tapatio. Okay. And then there's my beer. It's already opened. And I'm just going to pour the whole thing in. At this point, I think I was like questioning my life choices. And I was like, oh my God, is it going to fit? Is it going to fit? And then it started to run out. And I was like, yes, this is the perfect size. It's going to be beautiful. Okay. So then after that, I should have had my straw ready, but you just give it a mix. Sometimes you add tajin. Some people add tajin and chamoy and all that, but because I like mine savory, I love chamoy with fruit, not with my micheladas. I just drink it straight like this. Sometimes I don't even add tajin. But anyway, thanks for watching, you guys, and I hope you really enjoyed my video. Thanks. Until next time, friends.